Hello. I'm James, and I live in Manchester in the UK. And you're listening to English with a Brew, a podcast where I talk about different day-to-day topics to help you learn English the most natural way possible. And that is only by listening to it. If you want to support this podcast, read transcripts, and get exclusive access to more content, go to patreon.com/English with a Brew. So, as we say in Manchester, get a brew on and let's get started. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How is everyone? Great, I hope. In this episode, I'm going to talk about sustainability and some of the ways we can live sustainably. But what does that mean exactly? Well, sustainability means living in a way that helps protect the planet. It's about using the Earth's resources carefully so that future generations, the people that live on Earth in the future, can enjoy a healthy planet too. Sustainability is an idea or a concept, but it's impacted by hundreds of small decisions that we make every day. But what are some of those decisions? What can we do to live more sustainably? Well, one of the most well-known principles, I suppose, of sustainability is the 3 R's, or the 3 R's of recycling, where each and every letter R stands for something that we can all do. The first R, which is probably the most impactful, stands for reduce. In simple terms, it means to use less, to live using less stuff. For example, if you go to work or school every day and you buy lunch from a supermarket or a shop, you buy a sandwich, a drink, and a packet of crisps 5 days per week. Every one of those things is individually wrapped in packaging made of lots of different materials: plastic, paper, cardboard, for example. But if you prepare your lunch in advance, ahead of time, before you go to work or school, then those materials don't need to exist, and you have reduced the amount of rubbish created. The second R stands for reuse, and it means using something more than once, more than one time, or finding a new purpose for an old item. You can reuse lots of things. For example, I buy almost all of my clothes second hand. I buy them from other people who are selling them on mobile apps like Vinted and Depop, because you can find lots of clothes that have not been worn that much for cheaper prices. And I buy other clothes from charity shops. Or because I have an older brother, when I was younger, my parents could reuse a lot of the equipment that babies need. And so they didn't need to buy the equipment again. The third R is recycling, which is the process of turning materials from rubbish into something new. Some materials, like metal and glass, can be recycled quite easily, while others, like plastics, can sometimes be recycled or can sometimes be more difficult. That's the 3 R's. But what other things can we do to live more sustainably? Well, in some towns and cities, you can find zero waste shops. And in these shops, you can find products that are greener, more ecological, and more natural. And there you can usually refill containers with loose products like oats, flour, rice, and pasta, and other cleaning products like soap or detergent. Another thing you could do is cycle to work or take public transport instead of driving. Or you can change your energy provider so that all of your electricity comes from renewable sources like solar power, wind power, or water, which is called hydroelectrical power. There are lots of things we can all do to live more sustainably. And so we all need to think about what changes we are comfortable making. And together, all of those small decisions can add up to make a huge impact. Finally, sustainability is everyone's responsibility. It's not just for individuals like you or me. Personal sustainability is very important, but it's also incredibly important that companies and governments make sustainable decisions too, and create laws to enforce them. And together, we can all have a greater impact. And that's it. So my question for you today is, what does sustainability mean to you? What do you do to live more sustainably? What's important to you? Let me know. That's everything for today's episode of English with a Brew. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments if you did or if you didn't, and tell me what topics you'd like to hear me talk about in future episodes. And don't forget, if you want to support this podcast and get access to all of the exclusive episodes, you can do that on my Patreon page. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day, morning, afternoon, or evening, whatever time it is where you are right now. Take care.